2 more inmates have been recaptured, bringing to 5 the number of inmates recaptured after 12 inmates escaped from the medium security custodial center in Cotton Cafe in Kogi State. Sifonesian has more.
It's now 5, the number of inmates that have been recaptured following the escape of 12 inmates from the medium security custodial center in Cotton Cafe, Kogi State, earlier on Monday. Security forces are on the trail of 7 inmates who are still at large. According to officials of the custodial center, 12 inmates escaped from the holding facility after manipulating the locks. Investigation is on to unravel the incident, as there are reports alleging compromise on the part of officials of the holding facility.
I can assure you we'll get to the root of this incident, because anybody who is found complicit in this particular issue will be adequately dealt with. We lost 1 personnel. What happened after they manipulated the key? They tied 2 of my personnel who were on duty up, strangled 1, and then made good their escape route.
The theory of jailbreak is not acceptable. There certainly must be internal collaboration, and we'll get to the root. This is what the government wants, and he wants all security agencies in Kogi State to come together, work quickly. Apart from getting to the root of it, they must recover every other. The remaining 9 must come back to custody immediately.
It's not the first time inmates will escape from this facility. In November 2014, an attack by suspected Boko Haram inmates resulted in the escape of 144 inmates. In July 2016, 13 inmates escaped after breaking down a section of the custodial center's perimeter fence. In October 2019, severe flooding compromised the facility, leading to the escape of about 122 inmates. Monday's incident indicates the need to strengthen security and improve the facilities at the custodial centers across the country. Sifonesian, TVC News, Abuja.
And the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, has ordered an immediate investigation into the recent prison break at the Cotton Cafe Correctional Center in Kogi State. Describing the incident as unfortunate, the minister assured the public that efforts are on the way to ensure all escaped inmates are recaptured using the service's advanced biometric system and existing technology solutions. In response to the incident, the minister has directed the Acting Controller General of the Nigerian Correctional Center, Sylvester Indidi, to visit the facility, assess the situation, and conduct a full audit to determine what led to the breach. Mr. Tunji-Ojo emphasized that security operatives are already on the ground in Kogi State working to restore order. And available reports from the National Human Rights Commission shows that as of 2018, the Correctional Center in Cotton Cafe has the capacity to accommodate 320 inmates. 132 of that number were awaiting trial, 60 inmates convicted, and 203 in lockups. In 2019, more than 200 inmates fled the facility after a section of the facility was overrun by floodwaters following heavy rainfall in the town. And based on data from the Nigerian Correctional Service, there are a total of 79,802, 77,000 plus males and 1,923 females. 26,692 have been convicted, while 53,110 are awaiting trial. Let's bring in Executive Director, Prisoners Rehabilitation and Welfare Action, Uju Agoma, for more on this development. Mr. Agoma, thanks for joining us on the news tonight. Mr. Agoma, thank you for joining us. It's the 4th prison break in this same facility in just about 10 years. What do you think is happening?
Okay, thank you very much for having me. I just think that what it points to is that the solutions that can give us a sustainable impact in terms of the interventions being made needs to really be what we should look at. It needs to be comprehensive. So if we're still having this problem, it just means that we have not really adequately addressed this issue. And comprehensive approach to issues about security. The Nigerian Correctional Service Act and the gadgets and the devices that needs to be put in place. So this needs to happen. But there is also an issue I don't really want us to forget. It's also some of the challenges. Because look at this situation where a correctional officer's life have also been lost. So we need also to look at how the issue of this security also affects, insecurity affects staff, and the fact that if you don't do the needful, the facilities that are supposed to be put in place, as I had just pointed to you, what the law says, if it's not there, it's not only a challenge to the inmates, but it's also a challenge to the staff.
I'm sure you're
So
conversant with the current numbers, Mr. Jomo. Prior to this time, we've had conversations as regards awaiting trial and our facilities taking much more than the people that are supposed to be there. What's the current situation right now?
I mean, I listened to the bulletin, and you're very correct about the proportion of those who haven't been convicted across the whole country. And that figure you see, which is 67%, according to the statistics as at March from the Correctional Service, it's giving you the picture. Generally, that's as the average. Don't forget that in many of the facilities, especially those in some form of metropolitan area, you are having that number as high as 70%, 80%, 90%. And let me just mention this, and you will see it also from the statistics of the affected correctional center that you just mentioned. Every correctional center where you have a disproportionate number that have not been convicted is really a time bomb. So this will continue to happen unless we do the needful. And I don't know why we can't prioritize something as serious as this. It's not the first time. It will not also be the last time, again, as I said, if we do not do the needful. And to do the needful is just a question of addressing those points. One is about the full implementation of that Section 28, and what the Section 28 tells you about, that is Section 28 of the Nigerian Correctional Service Act of 2019. It clearly talks about the kind of security facilities that needs to be put in place. CCTV cameras, double parameter walls, body scanners. There are many of those things, and it won't be a problem doing that. Addressing it for your maximum security facility, for your medium security facility, that is one. Secondly, the proper classification of all custodial centers. Once you've done it, you have to ensure that the kind of inmate you send to those custodial centers aligns with the security specification and the security risks that those inmates present. The regimes, which is the treatment and the processes that happens there, must also align. So it is sad that this has happened. And again, as I said, it is also something that affects the life of staff. So you can see what has just happened with this staff that have lost his life. So what's going to happen to his family? Yeah? So again, it is important that we prioritize what's happening in correctional service, and let's make sure that the adequate funding that requires to deal with the implementation of core aspects of the Nigerian Correctional Service Act of 2019 is actually done. Indeed. So that we won't keep having these problems.
Well, it sounds a lot like the Interior Minister has his work cut out for him, and we can, address this with Kids Club moving forward. Executive Director, Prisoners Rehabilitation and Welfare Action, Uju Agomo, thank you so much for talking to us on the news tonight.
Thank you.